Hello and welcome to today's Five with Fitz. You know, a while back I said that Tesla could be worth $20 trillion. And you know who responded with the following. He said, quote, "It's possible with extreme execution." Well, guess what Elon Musk has been doing lately? Exactly that. Executing extremely. Here are 10 of the latest reasons that I can't possibly own enough Tesla shares. Number one, Tesla recently dropped a record monster 46.7 gigawatt hours of energy storage, with an amazing 14.2 gigawatt hours deployed alone in quarter four. That smashed all the records and it beat expectations by a mile. The reason this is important is that AI data centers are sucking power like an electronic black hole, and grids are totally antiquated, unprepared mess. Tesla megapacks are the fix. They're high margin, scaling like crazy with new factories in Houston, Shanghai, Lathrop, cranking out the stuff. Energy and data have always been Tesla's cash machine, something that many people, by the way, laughed not so politely at me for saying back in 2011. Number two, Optimus is going to be so successful that people are going to forget Tesla made cars. Big statement, I know. But Gen 3 hardware is rolling into Giga Texas right now, version 3 with FSD V15. Brains, dexterity, navigation, autonomy. That is stuff that was science fiction a year ago. Now, Musk now says that 80% of the long-term value may come from this. Think about that for a moment. I think we're thinking thousands are already deployed internally by 26 and scaling to 100,000 robots a year. It will change labor markets, redefine work, and change entire economies. Probably already is. Number three, Tesla built the most advanced, cleanest lithium refinery on the planet, Robstown, Texas. It's the first, forgive me if I can't pronounce this correctly, spodumenium to hydroxide in North America. Man, that's a mouthful. I haven't had enough coffee. It's an acid-free process, vertical control from dirt to battery. Production is underway with new raw materials through the kiln, and that's already confirmed January 2026. China's lithium advantage, well, that just got canned. Number four, Starlink turns every Tesla and Tesla-related devices into an unbreakable node on the global grid. Now, there's a fresh patent, 2025 filing published in December for roof-integrated RF transparent antennas. Now, what this means is hidden, seamless, and no ugly dish on aircraft, on cars, etc. Now, satellite connectivity is baked in, which means zero dead zones for FSD if you're in your car, streaming, remote, everything, anywhere. Your car is the convergence zone, not just transportation. Number five, without SpaceX, China would be leading the way and the US would be playing catch up, and probably badly at that. Now, Musk himself says that Starship, he thinks, hits one launch per hour in roughly 3 years. Think about that one for a moment. The dirt cheap orbital cost is going to go down. Building in space goes up. Mars and more becomes reality. Space is a multi-billion-dollar opportunity all by itself. Number six, Tesla is now the number one luxury brand in China, even with BYD crushing the mass market EVs. We're talking 2.26 million versus Tesla's 1.64 million global in 25, but that's neither here nor there. Luxury, loyalty, and safety. Competitors have no choice but to go cheap because Tesla owns the top end and has the margins to prove it. Number seven, Tesla is about to nuke an entire supply chain by printing its own power magnetics in-house. Now, what this means is that next-gen motors are going to ditch the whole rare earth hype and probably put an entire generation of clickbait artists out of business now that I think about it. It also means, more importantly, vertical supply again, which translates into lower cost, better performance for vehicles, energy, Optimus, and more. Now, there's a series of patents, and I put one of them in the written version of the Five with Fitz today, so take a look if you'd like. But the thing is, we're talking, once again, bigger, more sustainable, and growing margins. And I love that part as an investor. Number eight, Cybercab production kicks off in April 26 in Giga Texas. Unsupervised FSD means fleets of cars and soon trucks running 24/7 with no drivers. Economics flip from legacy CapEx heavy cars to software with wheels. Now, every Tesla owner can potentially send his or her car out to work for the day when they're not using it, or overnight when it's parked in the garage otherwise. That could redefine passive income for millions of hardworking families. Tesla can change a few lines of code and add billions of dollars to the top line. Number nine, energy margins are already stupid, silly, and exploding. Deployments are doubling and then some. Factories are ramping to 133 gigawatt hours a year capacity soon. The ticker tourists, of course, are focused on what might happen a decade from now, but Tesla is the only player already capable of delivering at scale. It is a quiet trillion-dollar shift that is already happening. There's a lot of alreadys in today's stuff. This is not science fiction any longer. And number 10, Tesla is actually the biggest memory stock of all. Investors are enamored with Micron, Samsung, and more lately, but what they don't realize is that Tesla is a rolling memory network ecosystem with video, fusion, edge inference, and feedback, none of which needs to be reset like conventional memory chips. The whole enchilada improves by remembering. Plus, over-the-air updates means that the entire company is built on data recall and reuse. Anybody who thinks Musk isn't all over memory hasn't taken a serious look at what Tesla's doing. I think it's orders of magnitude more monetizable to my way of thinking. I'm beginning to think, here comes the statement, that $20 trillion might actually be low. Now, to be fair, critics scream about the competition. That's a valid point. But show me another company anywhere on the planet, just one, that is doing what Tesla does at scale. The competition line is a red herring, and I run into it a lot in the TV studios and at presentations around the world. For example, legacy automakers talk a big game on EVs and batteries and all the rest, but they're still wrestling with outdated supply chains, bloated bureaucracies, and half-hearted pivots that bleed cash on every model. Chinese players like BYD crank out volume, but they're super hyper-focused on price wars in a subsidized home market without the vertical integration, software edge, or audacious bets on autonomy and robotics that define Tesla. No one else I am aware of is simultaneously scaling massive gigafactories, iterating FSD at breakneck speed, deploying robotaxis, even if it is in cautious geofence steps, and pushing humanoid Optimus towards production realities. Competitors chase quarterly earnings, but Musk is chasing a multi-planetary timeline, and he's setting the rules for everybody else at the same time. Tesla detractors and the spreadsheet gang also grouse about valuations, something I hear a lot. They're also conveniently or deliberately forgetting that Amazon peaked at a PE ratio north of 3,000 back in the dot-com days when it was basically losing money hand over fist. Netflix peaked at nearly 400 trailing PE in its high growth phase, 2015-16. Nvidia peaked at over 243, recent highs in the AI frenzy. And Apple peaked at something like 42 or more recently. I think it hit higher numbers, maybe 50, 58 in earlier cycles, if memory serves. And all right before those supposedly uninvestable, according to the experts, companies turned into, you guessed it, life-changing wealth. My point is that high growth, high influence companies don't play by yesterday's fair value constraints. They're priced for huge structural changes in our world that are already profoundly impacting today's markets. Now, some people can't get past Musk himself, and that's fair, but remember your history or ignore it if you like. Visionaries are inevitably controversial in their time. For example, Alan Turing was ridiculed, Galileo was condemned, and Henry Ford was deeply flawed. Yet all three of those individuals reshaped our planet. The question you want to sort out as an investor today is whether you'll be comfortable waking up one morning years from now knowing you could have invested back in the day when Tesla was far less expensive. People already struggle with the idea that they've missed some of the greatest names in history, which is why they swear up, down, and sideways that they won't miss another one. They won't miss the next Palantir or the Apple or Intel or Microsoft. I mean, you get the idea. Tesla has returned 27,000 some odd percent since June 29, 2010, which is enough to change every $1,000 invested back then on the day it went public into $278,196.40. Now, the S&P 500, which is a popular ETF choice for many investors, has returned 780.89% by comparison over the same time frame. You can do the math. The question is, can you afford to miss that kind of wealth potential if Musk does it again? I don't know too many investors who can. Now, I plan to own my shares for the rest of my life at this point, and I hope I'm smart enough to buy more. It may not be perfect, but it works for me. Today's bottom line, it makes no sense whatsoever to apply the same tired old analysis but expect different results. Profits are always found at the edge of absurdity. Think differently. Embrace change because it's happening, and there is an entirely new generation of millionaires being printed right now. As always, let's make it a great day. Thank you for watching. You got this, I promise, and I'll see you tomorrow.